We are living in a very sad time. Mysterious things are happening. Mysterious things are unfolding. On this episode, I want us to beam our lights on two particular individuals, Bishop T.D. Jakes and Duncan Williams. And I don't want you to underestimate this man called Duncan Williams. The power and influence that he carries is beyond your imagination. When I talk of power, I'm not talking about spiritual power. I'm just talking about power to make things happen, power to influence whoever that he wants to influence within the fraternity, within their secret society. Let's start with Bishop T.D. Jakes. Now that it is being alleged that him and P. Diddy were involved in an inappropriate manner as a way of transferring spirits or as a ritual that had to be performed to sustain their covenants. This is now common knowledge that if you are part of these secret societies, you have to go through these rituals and you have to sustain these covenants, immoral covenants, as a way to show submission, because it's all about submission. If there's one thing that the devil wants more than anything else, is submission. When he tempted Christ, he asked for only one thing. If you bow down to me and if you worship me, I'll give you everything. Christ didn't fall for it. But your bishops, your pastors, your prophets, they've been falling for it. So make this understanding. If there's one thing the devil wants more than anything else, is submission. You can never serve the devil without submitting. And there's only one way that you can convince the devil of your allegiance. You can convince the devil that you are submissive. And that is by doing that which is not common for you to do. By doing that which is unnatural for you to do. And that is picking up the soap. And that is Sodom and Gomorrah style. That's the only way that you can please the devil. So now it has been made clear that your bishop, T.D. Jakes, he was submitting under Puff Daddy as a way to fulfill his promise to serve whoever or whatever power that he bows down to. So now that we have an idea or a clue as to where Bishop T.D. Jakes stand in relation to Puff Daddy, there's another figure that I want us to examine. That is Bishop Duncan Williams. What is the connection between Bishop Duncan Williams and Bishop T.D. Jakes? Do you remember? I don't know if most of you have been following these people for long. When the Potter House was being dedicated, who was invited? T.D. Jakes' Potter House. Who was invited to dedicate the Potter's House? Of all the people that Bishop T.D. Jakes could have invited for that dedication, he chose Archbishop Duncan Williams to go and do the dedication. Of all the people, and you would ask yourself, why choose Archbishop Duncan Williams? Like, Duncan Williams has nothing to offer. Absolutely nothing to offer. If we're going to talk about inspiration, if we're going to talk about doctrine, if we're going to talk about miracle wonders and whatever you can think of, his claim to fame is actually nothing. There's nothing he's known for. He has no word. He is not sound. He's just a so-called archbishop who has this title of having this influence. His title is mainly centered on having influence and control over everyone who wants to become part of his network. And him, he hands over souls. He gives those rings to his affiliates. That's his way of operation. When you look at how he does these things and what he did with your Jerry Eases and with your Joshua Selman, is the very same pattern that he introduced Bishop T.D. Jakes to. Recently, Bishop T.D. Jakes also did the very same ritual. He handed over a sword to his son. They say it's for bridging the gap, but we don't know which gap they'll be bridging.
I know there will be victories. I know there will be challenges. So I had them prepare this gift. Yeah.
One would ask, what is the significance of the sword? We're not going to dwell much on the sword because we have exhausted the spiritual significance of handing over this Masonic sword. I've seen so many people say, no, it's not Masonic. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it online. My people, these Freemasons will never show you in public that we are doing this, especially if they are infiltrating the church. They always find subliminal ways to shield their rituals, to hide their rituals in plain sight, so that they can leave you thinking that it's just an ordinary sword. If you are within the Christian faith, why not give him a Bible instead of a sword? Why not hand over a Bible to say, okay, carry on with the gospel, with the preaching? But instead they give him a sword. What you do not know, my people, is bigger than what you think you know. Do not use logic to try to understand these spiritual matters. These are rituals, and they have nothing to do with the church. They have nothing to do with the things of Christ. They have nothing to do with God. They have everything to do with a God that they are appeasing, who has these demands. Because you have to follow their rule book. You have to follow through everything they tell you to do. That's why Joshua Selman in Kenya, he had to make sure the stage had those symbolisms of the Freemason. They don't have a say in these things. They just follow commands. Now let's get back to the association of Duncan Williams and Bishop T.D. Jakes. If Bishop T.D. Jakes has been doing this with P. Diddy, what are the chances? No, I'm just speculating here. What are the chances that Duncan Williams has been doing this with all his young affiliates, all the ones that he has handed over the swords? The whole exposure of Bishop T.D. Jakes and P. Diddy should hint you, should give you a hint that this thing is common in this network. I told you it's broad. This whole Sodom and Gomorrah thing is very common in this occultic network. So if Duncan Williams is close to Bishop T.D. Jakes and Bishop T.D. Jakes is close to P. Diddy, could Duncan Williams and Bishop T.D. Jakes be involved in any other way than we know them to be involved? Apart from that, does it also mean that Duncan Williams and the likes of Joshua Selman, Jerry Eases, the Emmanuel Makandiwas, and all these other ones that he has initiated, the Kusi Boatengs, are also practicing the same ritual of initiation? These are speculations, and I'm bringing this up so that you connect dots. The only way you can understand things from a different perspective, or the only way you can get a bigger picture of these events that are unfolding, you have to look back and connect dots from the past and make sense of everything that has unfolded thus far. So if that's how T.D. Jakes was running and operating and doing some of his rituals with the P. Diddies, what are the chances also that Duncan Williams did the same to your spiritual fathers? All of those who have swords, all of those who have rings. And I already told you, you cannot become part of these secret societies unless you submit. And there's only one way to submit. There's only one way to show submission. You have to pick up the soap and you have to get initiated. Think about it and let me know what you think in the comments. I'm not casting any aspersions. I'm just asking questions.